Well, since you brought it up, what are your thoughts on Miami's quarterback situation as is? No quarterbacks in this class as of yet. The one player that's been mentioned a lot is Jake Garcia. What do you think about Jake Garcia? And are you hearing about any other possible guys that Miami could look at their corner position or that quarterback position to add to this class?
No, really, right now it's probably Jake Garcia or bust situation, and every day that passes, it kind of seems more and more unlikely. But I mean, should they find a way to flip him, he is a good player, and he's at a new school in Georgia, and they're one of the top teams in the country now if they have him at quarterback, and they're rolling into the playoffs right now. He's been good for them. Look, I don't think that you need this year to reach for a guy at the high school level if you don't think that he can compete with a guy like Tyler Van Dyke, because they are very high on Tyler Van Dyke. So unless it's someone that can actually challenge him, I don't think you need to.
Hold up. If you're not signed up with the Patreon squad, aka the Kane Gang, then what are you doing? Get signed up right now. Link in the description and in the pinned comments. And for less than a cup of coffee, you can get the extra content, the exclusive content, the ad-free content, the early access content, the film breakdowns that I can't put on YouTube because YouTube will strike your boy down. Hey, we turning up on the Patreon squad, the Kane Gang. Get over there right now. Link in the description. And if you're already a member of the Kane Gang, I appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of this content. I'm moving my hands, a lot of hand movement.
Reach. I think it would make more sense to go back into the portal. It doesn't have to be a grad transfer. Of course, if there's another Derek King, obviously that's a no-brainer, but that seems, unlikely. But I don't think that you need to get a grad transfer guy. I think it'd be okay to bring in a normal transfer guy to compete with Tyler Van Dyke, because, it seems like in January they're going to pass this new rule where guys can transfer one time and not have to sit out a year, which is going to be a game changer. And quarterbacks already transfer way more than any other position, and that's only going to increase that. So I think that there's going to be options in the portal, where I'm not so sure that the options are going to be there at the cornerback position. I think quarterback position, there's going to be a lot of options.
All right, so you kind of brought up Tyler Van Dyke, and honestly, when I asked the question about the transfer portal, one of the positions I wouldn't mind getting from the transfer portal is the quarterback, because I feel like you're going to get, most of the time you're going to have tape on the kid. You're going to know about how he works in the locker room, so you will know a lot about the quarterback you're recruiting. What is your confidence level with Tyler Van Dyke? Let's see, 1 being you're not confident in him, 10 is you're very excited that he can come in and be the starter day one. Here's my thing. I don't know about Tyler Van Dyke. I liked his tape. I think he has a strong arm. And the coaches have raved about the type of work he puts on, but he was recruited by Enos. And I look and I say, can we put Tyler Van Dyke in this system and he succeed, especially if the O-line doesn't improve, which we assume it will improve, but does Tyler Van Dyke fit this Rhett Lashlee offense?
With improved O-line play, like you said, I think he does. I think if you look back to what he did last year at SMU with Shane Buechele, I think that, that's not a mobile quarterback at all, Shane Buechele. He was pretty statuesque, and they had a whole lot of success. They averaged 41 points a game. Obviously, it's a different level of competition, but still they were very successful. And Tyler, he is not Derek King where he's going to run for 100 yards against NC State. No, I mean, that's not going to happen. But he's an athlete, He played basketball and baseball, too, in high school. He's not a statue back there. This is a guy that has really good feet. He had a good shuttle time. He can move in the pocket. He can extend plays. So while he's not that runner, he can there's two different kinds of mobility with quarterback. You have the Derek King where you can take off and run. And then pocket mobility and extending plays is, it's a different kind of quarterback, but it's just as useful and just as effective, And I think that Tyler has the athleticism to do that. And you saw some of that in high school.
If Manny Diaz doesn't bring in a quarterback, are you confident in Tyler Van Dyke as the starter at Miami?
If Manny Diaz doesn't bring in a quarterback, that would tell me that the coaches are pretty confident in Tyler Van Dyke. My issue, I haven't seen him. I was at one practice in the spring, and that's the only time I ever saw Tyler Van Dyke. He looked pretty good to me. He was the second best quarterback on the roster, and you hear good things, but it's tough for me to say because I obviously never saw him live in high school because he's from Connecticut. I did see him at Paradise Camp, and he had a really good performance there. But I don't want to, I can't really say, but everything I've heard from the inside is, very positive. But what they do, if they go get a quarterback out of the portal and it's not a superstar, that might tell you, maybe, I don't want to read too much into it either way, but
this is just talking, we're just talking. We're not inside the quarterback room. You got to take it for what it is. This is just two fans and two guys who love the program just talking about what they think may happen or may not happen.
Yeah. And I'll just say it, whatever. I would be confident in Tyler Van Dyke. From everything I've heard and what I saw, I don't think it's an ideal situation. Obviously, you'd love to have a big-time senior quarterback. I think that's always a more ideal situation than a freshman, but I'd be pretty confident. I think he's a talented guy.
All right. I think I would obviously, there's a lot of ifs involved. If King stays, if he doesn't stay, if we get another quarterback, if we don't get another quarterback. You got Perry in the room. You got Van Dyke. I wouldn't mind you bringing in another quarterback, even if it's not a superstar, but just to say, hey, guys, let's compete. Let's compete for this starting job. You know what I'm saying? And I think although De'Aaron King came over and won the job, we knew he was going to be the quarterback. But I'm from what I'm hearing, like I said, like you said, we're not at the practice, but we know the type of work he put in. And we know the type of work that got early respect from all the other guys on the team. So I think we still need that at the quarterback position, that whoever's going to be the quarterback at Miami, they've got to instill some type of work ethic. And I think the best way you do that, the most you get out of anybody, is putting them in a competition and seeing who sinks and who swims. So,
yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think just having a guy like, both guys, Tyler and Nkosi, just having them see how Derek approaches every game week, how he approached the off season, what he did, getting guys, non-voluntary practices, organizing those, the way that he watched film, all that stuff. I think that's important for the guys to see because, that sets the example. This is what you need to do to be successful. I think that's a great point.
All right, guys, we got Matt on the line. Matt works with Canes Insight, especially in their recruiting department. He does a great job, guys. Make sure you check him out on Twitter and Canes Insight. Link will be in the description.